There are two kinds of art collectors in the world. The first kind hangs their paintings in galleries and living rooms, framed, lit, admired. They buy for prestige. They show off. The second kind hides their collections underground, temperature-controlled vaults, triple-layer security, no labels on the walls. They buy to bury. And the people I steal from? They're almost always the second kind. This job started with a whisper, 3 sentences, spoken in the back room of a cigar bar on 79th and Amsterdam. There's a vault. Under the East River. Full of paintings no one knows exist. And one of them is an art. I didn't ask who said it. I didn't ask what it meant. Because I'd heard enough to know it was real. And real was rare in my world. The vault belonged to a storage company called Hollister Black. Private, off-grid, and obscenely exclusive. No website. No signage. Just a 6-digit phone number, and a lobby that looked like an abandoned warehouse on the Lower East Side. But underneath it, a secure facility housing $300 million in unregistered fine art. Picassos. Basquiat's. 2 stolen Rothkos. Rumors of a lost Da Vinci. But that wasn't what got my attention. What got my attention was the unnumbered unit. No invoice. No inventory. No camera feed. Just a sealed 8x12 chamber listed in the blueprints as HVAC overflow, but requiring triple-key biometric clearance. Nothing in a vault is locked that tight unless someone doesn't want it found. So I found it. And I took it. And what I found inside wasn't a painting. It was evidence. Documents. Photos. Maps. Flight logs. All tied to Operation Lennox, a blacksite program that supposedly shut down after 2008. Except it hadn't. And someone had hidden the truth behind a Rothko. You don't just walk into Hollister Black. You don't case it like a bank. You don't bribe the staff. There are no janitors, no third-party vendors, no paper trails. The entire place is run like a black site under the East River, quiet, anonymous, and deliberately invisible. So I did what I always do. I became someone they already trust. 2 months before the job, I started posing as a courier for a Swiss art insurer that handled ultra-private collections. The kind of firm that shipped untitled canvas crates from Zurich to Dubai with armed escorts and no questions. I created a full digital identity, company registry, contract records, a burner satellite phone, and a trail of forged invoices to make it all look legitimate. The key was subtlety. Don't try to prove too much. Just let the data suggest I was real. Then I called Hollister Black. Told them my client was moving 5 pieces of high-value temperature-sensitive material into New York and needed storage, short-term, 6 months. They scheduled me for a consultation. That's when I got inside. The lobby was what you'd expect from a place hiding $300 million in stolen and hidden art. Gray concrete. 1 chair. No receptionist. Just a black glass elevator with no buttons and a scanner that looked more medical than industrial. A man in a tailored suit, mid-50s, ex-military posture, greeted me. He didn't give his name. Just said, "You'll be accompanied. No photography. No devices. Do not touch the walls." I smiled. Nodded. Played dumb. They escorted me 3 levels underground, thick air, pressure-sealed hallways, climate-controlled to within 0.1 degree. The vaults were cell-like, brushed steel, industrial hinges, silent magnetic locks. But then I saw it. Unit 6C, far end of the east corridor. No label. No lights. And a red ring around the doorframe. Not paint, not warning tape, but a recessed LED band glowing faintly, like an unspoken rule. That was my target. I didn't try to force my way in. That's suicide in a place like this. Instead, I spent the next 4 weeks infiltrating sideways. I bribed a subcontractor from a fiber optics firm doing tunnel work 2 blocks over. Paid him $40,000 for partial blueprints of the flood infrastructure under Hollister Black. I used a sewer mapping overlay to identify a narrow sub-access chute leading to the foundation wall. Then I rented a utility van and staged a late-night street closure 1 block north, complete with fake permits, cones, and a pair of guys wearing hard hats who thought they were checking for gas leaks. They weren't. They were buying me time. At 2:14 a.m. on a Friday, I descended into the underbelly of Manhattan. I crawled through 200 feet of reinforced concrete tunnel, squeezed through a 28-inch maintenance access shaft, and drilled into the vault wall using a pulse-modulated diamond head rig. Silent, slow, exact. By 3:42 a.m., I was inside Unit 6C. And it wasn't what I expected. There was no art. No canvas. No sculpture. Just a single sealed crate, waist high, marked with a code I didn't recognize. When I opened it, I saw a set of hard drives. A manila folder labeled LNX // phase 3 / DC assets. A worn leather-bound journal, and an oxygen-stabilized glass tube, inside which were several microfilm reels. None of it made sense, until I read the first page of the folder. Lennox Phase 3, Contingency Logistics for Domestic Black Site Reactivation. Containment Threshold under Civil Unrest Conditions. Maps. Names. Domestic flight logs. Surveillance footage stills from 2013 to 2017. A roster of private contractors, some still active, some listed. Terminated. There were photos of people I recognized. Some were supposed to be politicians. Some were supposed to be dead. And one was someone I knew from a job in Venezuela. He was listed under U.S. Liaison, Operational Umbrella. This wasn't art. This wasn't insurance. This was a kill switch file, evidence of a program the government buried over a decade ago. And someone had hidden it under a fake Rothko in a vault no one was supposed to open. Except I had. And now, I had to decide. Walk away and live. Or leak it and become the most hunted man in New York. I sealed the crate back like I'd never touched it. Wiped every surface. Vacuum locked the lining. Replaced the microfilm reels in their exact orientation. The folder. I copied every page with a micro scanner sewn into my jacket sleeve, then resealed the adhesive spine with a custom thermal strip. The hard drives I never touched. Too risky. I just photographed the serials, their drive architecture stickers. Then I left. Not fast. Not rushed. Clean. 3:59 a.m. I was crawling back through the concrete throat of the East River, heartbeat calm, mind racing. I had evidence that could burn governments. Names that weren't supposed to be on paper. And whoever put them there had hidden the truth inside a vault disguised as forgotten wealth. But they didn't plan on me being the one to find it. And now, I had 2 choices. 1. Sell the information to the highest bidder. 2. Or vanish before anyone knew I had it. I chose option 3. I made a copy of everything I scanned, loaded it into a secure node buried inside a dead address range on the I2P darknet. Then I split the encryption key into 5 parts, each one hidden inside a different blockchain ledger under disguised transactions. Only I knew how to reassemble them. I created a delayed drip protocol. If I didn't ping the system every 48 hours from a rotating signal, the archive would unlock and leak piece by piece to journalists, whistleblowers, and for intelligence groups with grudges against the US blacksite system. It was my dead man's switch. Then I ran. But I didn't get far. 2 days after the heist, a man showed up at the apartment I never listed under any name. Mid-40s. Black jacket. Looked like a schoolteacher or an analyst. Soft voice. He handed me a phone. Said nothing. The screen lit up with a video feed. Live footage. Of me. Inside the vault. Opening the crate. You didn't steal anything, the voice said through the speaker. You just unsealed it. I didn't respond. We're not here to kill you, the voice said. We're here to buy your silence. That word again, buy. As if money could clean what I'd seen. They offered me $5 million to walk away. No leaks. No trace. I'd get a new identity, new life. A quiet villa. They even knew what kind of books I read. They'd been watching longer than I realized. But they made one mistake. They assumed I still cared about money. Later that night, I triggered a fragment of the leak. Just one page. One flight log. One redacted name. It hit a niche investigative blog by sunrise. And by noon, 3 news agencies had picked it up. They didn't know what they were looking at. But someone else did. Because at 3:27 p.m., my safe house exploded. I wasn't inside. But my neighbor was. I buried the man next door under someone else's name. He was retired. Quiet. Never asked questions. Didn't deserve to die. But he was in the wrong place, next to the wrong ghost. And now I wasn't just a thief with evidence. I was collateral they missed. I switched identities one last time. Not just papers, not just names, behavior. New walk. New rhythm. I even learned to breathe differently. I rented a room in Philadelphia under a fake NGO. Cash. No digital trail. I stopped scanning news alerts. But the world didn't stop scanning me. Because the moment I leaked that one flight log, it was like I scratched a hidden layer in a painting. One stroke too many. And the whole thing started unraveling. First came the coincidences. A politician resigned without explanation. A news outlet quietly shut down its investigative division. 2 civil rights activists died in a traffic collision less than 12 hours after posting a vague tweet about compromised oversight. They were cleaning house. Silently. Thoroughly. And I was still on the list. I had one play left. I couldn't outrun them. I couldn't outshoot them. But I could outleak them. So I released everything. One night. One dump. No warnings. 2.3 terabytes. Names. Faces. Operations. Kill orders. Bank trails. I didn't sign it. I didn't watermark it. Because it wasn't about me anymore. It was about truth. The next 72 hours were chaos. Forums lit up. Reddit crashed. Journalists scrambled to verify what they were looking at. Half thought it was fake. The other half prayed it was. By the time government officials started calling it a massive hoax, 2 whistleblowers had already stepped forward, people I'd never heard of, but who had seen enough to recognize the real thing. And then, just like that, the storm passed. The story got buried. The internet moved on. And me? I became a ghost for real. It's been 17 months since the leak. I live in a town with no cell towers. I work nights. I don't speak unless I'm paid to. Sometimes I still see the red ring from the vault in my dreams. Other times, I wake up thinking I'm still in that tunnel, crawling towards something I don't understand until it's too late. But here's the part no one ever tells you about the truth. Once you've touched it, it doesn't wash off.